I don't know why that thing looks like it. Okay, I'm not talking to you, Luna. I'm talking on my video. Let me say this. Let me say this. I'm live. I just did a quick live just to like it's just like a snippet just to illustrate some of the struggles um when you are trying to raise your kids. Hey, what's up, Gabe? What's up? When you're trying to raise your kids in a decent environment and you want to have kind of like a feeling of safety and a safe life and a stable life. So, like, people tend to move to places where they get that feeling. And you want your kids to go to good schools and you want them to be in good environments. And you don't want them to grow up before their time. And you don't want them to be exposed to certain things. You hope it's not like you want to protect them from the world, but it's just a lot of stuff that it doesn't have any purpose to be around your kid. And so that's what I'm speaking on. And that's why I made that video because that is one of the things, I guess I'll just turn it to the side because my little rubber thing is tripping. But that's one of the things that is a struggle for what I would say professional class and black middle class people. That is a struggle. Um, you want to keep your kids around people who speak standard English and people who know how to act and people who act appropriately. And I'm not saying I'm some kind of, Mormon and I'm all perfect. Y'all know I be cussing and I act crazy and all of that stuff. So I'm not even fit to sit here and act like I'm some kind of, little Miss Perfect. That's not what I'm talking about. But, you know, you just don't want your kids exposed to just any and everything. And so what I'm starting to wonder, because this is one of the things that's happening, is that a lot of the inner city folks and a lot of people who used to live in certain areas and neighborhoods, and this is why I want Section 8 to end. I'll be honest with y'all, I really need Section 8 to end. These housing vouchers and this stuff about making a way for people who can't afford stuff, I need that to end. And that's because what happens is, and I'm just being honest with y'all, it's hard. You spend your time, your energy preparing your life to get in a position where you can move to places where you can just be around decent stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just decent stuff. Ain't nobody being funny, acting, or anything like that. And I'll tell you what happened in a second. It's not a big deal, but I'm just giving an example of how it is a struggle for the black middle class, professional class black people to have environments. These people come and they ruin the schools. I'm just being honest. They come and they ruin the schools. They come and they move in your neighborhood and they mess up your neighborhood. I'm just telling you. I'm not being mean. I'm just telling you. And that's what's happened. The inner cities have dispersed people out of neighborhoods they can't afford, and they're trying to move into the suburbs because they got Section 8 vouchers. And when they move into your neighborhoods, then of course they at your grocery store. Now they're at your gas station. You can look and you can just tell they're either walking everywhere. And I'm not talking about no little bullshit houses. I'm talking about they are using housing vouchers and staying in rooming houses that somebody then converted into a rooming house because you can make $9,000 in Metro Atlanta off a 5-6 bedroom house. You charge everybody $1,200. There you go. You got money. You know what I'm saying? There are people doing that, converting basements. This is a this is a problem. So it's almost like you can't rest. Your price point, you're gonna have to get to the point where you gotta go buy $1 million house to filter these things out. And that's not necessarily even a smart financial thing. I mean, unless you're making it like that, you know what I'm saying? You want to spend it like that, but in reality, um, people want to retire. You know what I'm saying? Why are you in $1 million house when you could be in a $200,000 house in a decent neighborhood? You know, and you shouldn't have to go and keep running from folk. So this is one of the problems with affordable housing when it starts to invade spaces. We have a clash of culture. So let me just keep it real and keep it short. What happened to me is I just was at a restaurant I've been going to for years, probably shoot, maybe 10 years. Me and my daughter eat there all the time. And we're sitting there peaceful and quiet. Now, the majority of the people that come to the restaurant, it's a lot of old white people, a lot of retired white people. The place reminds you of Piccadilly. Okay, just keep it real. It's an old white folks spot. Now I like to go there for my daughter to get her to eat a variety of vegetables and fruits because she really just at home. She's not gonna eat. For her. I get her to eat a lot of fruit and stuff like that. And we usually period of time and try that she hasn't tried before. She's for this. And so we're sitting there, and I've been going there for a long time. And this is my first experience. Maybe that's why I'm so irritated. But the ratchet didn't move in. The ratchet didn't move in. The ratchet's coming. So they sitting behind me. This girl and her weave. I swear to God, I didn't even look at her. I saw them walk past us. This whole restaurant is close to closing time. That's how you know it's for old folks. It closes at like 8:30. The whole restaurant has got plenty of seating. But these ratchet little crew, it's like three women and a sissy. I guess they want somewhere to talk loud and hear and have somebody hear them with that conversation be ridiculous. Like they just want to be in the mix. And so I guess, all the old white people, they didn't want to go sit dispersed among them. So they come sit they black asses behind my black ass with my daughter. And what I always do is I sit across from my daughter, she's eating, I'm eating, and we just be chilling, just chilling. And my daughter talks to the waitresses a lot. And, I'd be on my phone with one earplug in, and I'm sitting there, listening to Sab Sab talking politics. I'm chilling. That's what I do. And me and her just sit there, me and my daughter just chill. We talk a little bit, talk to the waitress a little bit. That's what we've been doing. But no, the ratchet ratch gotta come out of all the seating. And see, they wouldn't do that because them old white folks, they'll be looking at them like, what? And all the waitresses are white. So they gonna come sit next to my black ass like that's acceptable. I mean, from the moment they sat there, I got a smell. I was like, what is this smell? They walked past. I wasn't paying no attention. I'm all in my earplug, listening to Savvy talking about the housing market. That's what I'm listening to. It's talking about the housing market. Hey, what's up? What's up, DOD? And Ratchet comes. Three big mouth black broads, Ratchet broad with a sissy. They come and sit directly behind me and my daughter and proceed to just be loud. And this nigga that and did and that he got on these kind of shoes and nah. And yeah, he fine. I was just like, oh my god. And then the fag is weighing in. I'm just like, god damn. Out of all, I'm like, literally, y'all cannot imagine. There's 100 fucking seats in this whole place. And I just looked around. I'm like, what the whole fuck made them decide they want to sit behind my black ass? We ain't the same. I don't know why these Negroes do not understand. We are not the freaking same. And that's what it is. It's got to be because I'm black that you chose to come and sit directly behind the booth I'm sitting in with my daughter. Don't you see a child? Why are you having that conversation around a child? I'm just saying, you a stranger. You don't know us. This nigga did that. But like I said, I smelled her before I saw her. It got my attention. I thought she was just walking by. And then I felt a press on the back of my back. And she's standing up with her knee in the booth. And she's like talking loud or whatever. And I'm thinking she's going to walk past and keep going. And I start getting a whiff. And I'm like, what is that smell? And later on, when she walks past me, I look at her hair. I said, oh, that's what that smell is. And I'm not saying she stunk. I'm just telling y'all there was it smelled like Jerry Curl and an attic, a combination of that. Now that might be okay, but it was a distinct smell. And I said, ooh, she got an old ass weed. That's what it smelled like, an old ass weed. And just the whole look of them, and they just sitting behind me. I'm just like, wow, like really? And so my point is saying this, that when you're black and you try to raise your family, your kids, and be in a safe, decent environment, when the ratchets come, hey, what's up, V Dub? What's up, DOD? And I'm not saying this is to be stuck up. I'm just talking about if they was like, that's why I don't like Florida. I don't like Florida because they got a whole bunch of poor white trash and they be stumbling around drunk and red faced with teeth missing. I just don't like a certain element. It's not about the color. You understand? It's not about the color. It's just a certain element. And I'm not no, classy queen saying that, but what I'm saying is I don't like the burbs are being invaded, because of the gentrification and all kind of other stuff. And I really do. I need them to get rid of the Section 8. If they just get rid of fucking Section 8, then we don't have these problems. Our restaurants and our schools and the environments that we tried to get into to feel safe and to feel like we're around decent shit, it won't be invaded. And that's a solution. I'm just telling you, it's a solution. And one of the things I'm working on, and I've been talking. Y'all know I had a lawsuit with well, not with my HOA, against my HOA, but with my HOA at the same time. I had to have somebody removed. Six-year battle, which I won. So I'm very serious about this whole thing about keeping your environment and your property values and stuff like that protected. And trust me, I got a whole crew of black Karens around here. I keep these damn businesses in check. I'd be like measuring the grass. How tall is that grass? I'm gonna need you to get that. I be on it. That's all I can tell you. I caught this one owner of the shopping plaza. He was like, "I'm in Dubai. I don't care. I'm gonna need you to get a crew to come and handle this landscaping, sir. Manage your damn corporate property. If you don't manage it, I will. I got a whole crew of black Karens, and we don't even play. CVS corporate. They know me. They know me. I do not play about my community. Everybody around in this whole damn DeKalb County know my ass. Freeman don't play, okay? We don't pay property values for nothing. Do you know white folks, as soon as they see something they don't like, they call the commissioner. They think it's going to be an ordinance. They don't even play. You know what I'm saying? And black people, we got to start doing that with our environment and our property values. And so when you fight for stuff like that, you don't need these invaders. All they do is destroy the environment. They don't help. I like these black carriers because they have the same standards and values that I have. And that's why we bond together. We be on next door handling business, baby. One call, that's all. A lot of the black Karens are retired professional women too. They got time, okay? They got time. And that's what we need more of. We need some caretakers of the community. We don't need people who is just going to, destroy it. But anyway, that's what I was going to say. And so it gets you in a situation where you have to say, you know, do I have to just hustle hard so I can just keep moving? You can't keep moving. At some point, you got to put your feet down. You can't just keep moving. You can't pick up your house and your kids from schools because now, for somehow, people, the area has become more affordable, at least, compared to downtown because people had to leave. So that's the problem. That's the problem. You can't keep running. So you have to almost, I know this don't sound crazy, but you have to stand your ground. But yeah, we just went ahead and left early. We went ahead and left early because I couldn't take it.